We cutting loose.
All right, everybody, it's time for another episode of DWMOD. Andy St. Clair's going to be back in the house. Hey, we got it going this week, guys. And this week, it's man versus machine. Andy and I are taking on AI. It's going to give us its best predictions and going to put them to wait. You'll just have to stick around to see how that goes. Going to be pretty interesting. Hey, we're going to be talking a little bit of Lions celebrations. We're going to be talking about that South Carolina cop incident with the A&M game. We're going to be getting into some of those MVP votes. We're going to be talking a little bit of college football playoff stuff. All kind of stuff coming on the show this week, Louis. Let's rock it.
We cutting loose.
Touchdown. College football is now B1G versus SEC.
Down. Hook.
If you ain't listening to All Right Bet with me and Andy St. Clair, you're throwing away money.
Ready?
All Lions fans drinking that Kool-Aid. Super Bowl. Hey, disagree with me or don't. That's how it works. My man, Andy St. Clair, what's going on, buddy?
What's up? How are you, man? I'm good. I'm excited to be here, ready to go.
It's going to be an interesting one this weekend. Louis got to put together. We are taking on the machines this week, my friend.
Well, Skynet, Terminator, we've been taking them on for years. We always beat them. I expect us to do the same again.
Yeah, we are definitely going to be taking them on. We'll see the infinite amount of wisdom that's poured into this machine, and we'll see if it can predict the games better than we can. I'm looking forward to this, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to see it. I want to get to it right now. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, they're going to kick out some exact scores for us. They're going to give us some exact over-unders on these games and stuff. This is going to be...
I may steal it. You may bet on some of these.
You may want to do that. That is going to be really fun coming up at the end here. But speaking of you may not, because if you guys were listening to All Right Bet, Andy was on there telling you, listen, get off the Bills, get on Houston, be on Houston to win this game, take them on the money line. And you were right, man. You were right.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, I said maybe throw some money on the Bills not making the playoffs. I still believe that's a very good chance. I just don't think the Bills are very good. If they just have Josh Allen, they're good at home. They're bad on the road. All those road games, in my opinion. Now I know they beat a good Carolina team on the road, a decent Carolina team. So I just think on the road, you gotta don't just blindly bet the Bills.
Yeah, well, listen, you were right again on that one. You guys should have been on that. If you're listening to All Right Bet, already tuned in a couple of wins for you this week. I was shocked a little bit as to how they were just controlling that game. They're, outside of that kick return for the Bills, they couldn't get anything going.
Well, Texans, I think, have the best defensive football, which is why I think they're going to be they're not out of that division, which again, I was like, the Jags have an easy schedule, but look, if the Texans are doing with Davis Mills, you got to think that I just think they're getting better and they're better. And they're going to be a handful, man. The Texans are a handful. And you wouldn't want to play them at the end. They got to get to 10-7, got a shot. I know they play the Chiefs, which will be a big one. The Chiefs kind of own the Texans, but we'll see. The playoffs are right around the corner.
Yeah, they're coming up pretty quick. And Houston, giving the textbook to the Falcons on this is how you move up in the first round to grab a defensive guy and address both things in the first round and give away future picks. And this is how it works out with a guy like Will Anderson Jr. Maybe not awesome. Pierce.
Yeah, he was awesome. And that whole defense is awesome. It's just, and those red unis were sweet. I love the Texans.
They did look pretty good. That secondary unit playing without one of my favorite guys. I wanted the Lions to draft so badly a couple of years ago, and he went a couple of picks before we could have get him because I knew Campbell would have wanted to pick him was Petrie, and he's been out. But I love Petrie in that secondary. Yeah. He flies around, man. He's great.
Yeah, it's good. That team's kind of like, it's tough, man. If the Colts stumble, watch out. The Colts still got to play the Texans.
Yeah, they got to play them twice, right?
Yeah,
we're going to see how that goes. That is going to be a ground and pound game. I guarantee that Colts are going to be like, hey, we're not going to try to shoot them out here and spread them out here. We're just going to pound it and see what happens in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, maybe that's Colts lose this weekend to the Chiefs, which is kind of a coin flip. I think you're going to get you're going to be two back. And they're going to play them twice, so you never know.
You never know, man. Let me ask you this. Where you place your wagers, I can't do it on mine. It will not give me the option to bet teams to not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You can do that on yours?
No, I think that's like a FanDuel thing. I think you got to do it on FanDuel, DraftKings. I think that's sort of places you can do it.
Oh, man, because I tell you, I'd take a parlay right now on Bills and Chiefs not to make it because they're both probably around plus 600 or 700 a piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I think it's yeah. Oh, I'd say maybe more. I know the Bills to not make the playoffs were like last week or 2 weeks ago when they gave it out was like plus 700, plus 800. So
yeah.
if you'd have bet at that time, my guess is you probably could have bet it plus 1,000.
And put them both together. I mean, that's gotta be a nice little ticket. I'd love to place that bet. If you guys can place that bet, man, place that bet.
I mean, if I had to pick one who I don't think is going to make it, I still think it's the Bills. They got to go to the Pats. I mean, the Chiefs' schedule is a little easier, I think, but it's close.
Yeah, big game for them this weekend, and we're going to get to that on the Big Six picks. The Colts and the Chiefs is a huge one this week. Chiefs lose this one, man. They're really in trouble.
Yeah, they have a little backs up against the wall a little bit. They got like the Bills go to the Steelers next week. Like, oof, I don't know. I don't know what to do on that one.
Maybe they'll be lucky and Rodgers will still be out. But like for me, it's like, yeah, Bills are in big trouble. But if the Chiefs lose this weekend too, then if I'm not wrong here, they'll have to run off 5 out of 6 down the stretch to even get to 10 wins, right?
Yeah, but the Chiefs have a lot of home games. They've been on the road a lot, right? So they got the Colts this week. They go to Dallas, which look, Dallas can score, but I'm not taking Dallas to beat the Chiefs.
No.
And they got the Texans at home, which is good. They got the Chargers at home. In their road games, they go to Tennessee. Who cares? Then they got Denver at home, which I believe the Chiefs will be playing very hard in that game. And then I think they go to the Raiders. So they got 4 basically games at home. It's tough to beat at home.
That Raiders is a win there, but like, boy, Chargers, that's a tough one. That's a division game too, on top of the fact that the Chargers are going to be trying to get into the playoffs themselves, probably.
That's why I think the Chiefs will get in, right? Because they're just going to kind of pick the teams off that
they'll have to. Well, they control their own destiny at least, whereas the Bills will not.
Well, the Bills got at the Steelers, then they have the Bengals, then they go to the Patriots, then they go to the Browns, which is kind of a hard place to play this year, defense. Then they have the Eagles, and then they have the Jets.
Yeah, so they have some opportunity to win enough games to get in the playoffs there if they do well. But unlike the Chiefs, they don't control their own destiny by knocking off teams they need to, like the Chargers and you know what I mean? Like they need help.
Yeah, they're gonna be behind it a little bit, but I kind of think one will get in. It's gonna be very hard for me to believe both won't get in, but we'll see. They might not.
Ooh, that's going to be tough, man. That is going to be tough. So those are the 2 teams where we're talking about out of the playoffs in the AFC. Well, who's the surprising team in the NFC to you right now that's like they may not make the playoffs?
I would probably lean one of the North. I would lean, I think you have to look at like Lions, Packers, because I don't think the Bears making it or not making. I think if they make it, would be a surprise. I just don't think they're going to make it. Their schedule's brutal. They got to win 10 games. That's going to be hard.
I think you got to get to 11 in the NFC this year. I really do.
And then I'd also go to the NFC West. I would say maybe the 49ers have a tough road. And the team's good. I think that team's good. They're just so injured. I would be a little surprised if Tampa didn't make it. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say, buddy. That was going to be mine. Was like there is a world right now where like the Bucks may not make the playoffs.
Well, they're gonna lose. I think this week to the Rams. And then Carolina's going to be playing on Monday night for first place in the division. If they win, they'll be in first place. So that probably the most surprising. I would be. I would have to look at I don't think the Packers have been very good this year. I also they're just too hot and cold. They've lost at home twice. And I'd look at the Lions. I would actually look at their schedule. I mean, I think they'll make it, but I don't know their schedule off the top of my head. So I would have to be like, who are they playing? Because when they go outdoors, I've been saying this for a few years. I'm a little more nervous when golf's outdoors.
We got 3 games coming up in the division. So we got Minnesota, but that'll be indoor and that'll be a home game, I think. No, that'll be in Minnesota, but that won't be outdoors. And then we already played at Lambeau, so we got the Packers at home, and that's on Thanksgiving. And then we go to the Bears. So only one game there, and it's against the team you want it to be against outdoors. Right. It's the Bears.
Well, they got, I'm looking at it now. They got the Giants and the Packers at home. Then the Cowboys at home. So it's a big 3-week stretch for the Lions. That's good. Then they go to the Rams. Tough. They got the Steelers. Then they go to the Vikings. They go to the Bears. So, that seems doable to me. That one is like, I think
Steelers Vikings just reeks of a back-to-back to me. Like the Steelers are like, okay, and they're fighting for the playoffs and shit, but that's not a team that matches up well with us.
Yeah. I mean, here's the Packers. Like they got the Vikings, which I said on All Right Bet, like I think the Vikings are a live dog. But then they go to the Lions. Then they have the Bears. Then they go to Denver. Kind of a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Then they go to Chicago. Then they have the Ravens. And then they go to the Vikings.
Yeah, Packers are in trouble.
That's not like what I would call the easiest. I'd rather have the Chiefs schedule in that, scenario.
Fuck yeah.
There's a world where, like, to me, that would be shocking. The Packers get out and the Bears get in. I mean, I think your NFC playoff teams are going to be the Eagles. I'm going to say the Lions. I still think Tampa, and then you have the Rams, and then you have 3 wild cards in some way, which are probably Seahawks are in there, or the Rams. What they're in, and then you have 2 spots left. San Francisco's pretty good; they're not far away.
San Francisco, maybe.
Green Bay, pretty good. So the Bears. I don't know.
The Bears are in it. They're in the mix for that. They're in the mix for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, it's going to be interesting for sure, man. It's going to be the Eagles will be flying solo out of the East, though. That's going to be the end of that.
That's why, for sure. They're in. I mean, Dallas. I did say I love Dallas at 3.5. So I think I would have a fun money line bet this week is the Cowboys. So that is a good way for them to kind of get back in the race. I just don't trust Dallas.
No, God no. They're gonna get beat this weekend. Look, everybody's on the Cowboys. The spread is coming down. Money's coming in on the Cowboys like crazy. You turn on TV, everybody's Cowboys. Forget about it. Why? Because the media is selling us that like the Eagles are not happy in the locker room. Shit, like Eagles are classic peacetime, wartime to me right now. If you're familiar with that term. It's like it's in regards to like the military or any paramilitary organization that like when you're wartime, they're not worried about little shit. Like when you're at wartime, they're not worried about your uniform and your facial hair and you feel like all that shit. It's like, who gives a fuck? We're in the middle of a war. But during peacetime, the officers are walking around checking to see if you've polished up your medals. They're checking your beards. They're shaving. It's like peacetime, wartime, dumb shit. That's what's going on with the Eagles right now. They're in big time peacetime. They're killing everybody, and we're nitpicking little shit.
Well, their offense is bad. I will say there's probably not a team I trust more in a big game spot than the Eagles, though.
Yeah.
Like, any like standalone, like I have bet them to beat the Packers, covered. Had them against the Lions, covered. Like any of these like big standalone games, like let's say Seattle goes into Philly round 2 of the playoffs. I can't wait to bet against Sam Darnold. I mean, I will be all over the Eagles in that scenario. And the Seahawks are awesome. I can't wait. Like it's just an Eagle spot.
Eagles are really tough because their defense is legit. And they upgraded it, and it's getting better. And those guys are going to be even more cohesive come playoff time. And they have the guys on the other side of the football where if it's like you can't really say, well, if they wind up in a game where they really got to lean on the run, they have Barkley that can do that. If they wind up in a game where they really got to lean on some playmakers, Hurts could get running, get loose, and just start taking off a little bit. He can go downfield to AJ. He can they have the weapons when they need them.
Yeah, they're tough, and like I kind of think like that team is, I mean, kind of exactly what you're saying, but I think they in any sort of like controversy, it doesn't bother that team. Like
no,
AJ Brown screaming about he's not getting up touch. Like that team doesn't care. The tush push is going to get banned. The team doesn't care.
Nope.
Like it just they remind me of last year's Chiefs. I do think they're a little better than last year's Chiefs.
Yeah.
I thought last year's Chiefs were a little lucky. They were like something like 12-0 in 1-score games.
Yeah.
But that team's good. It's hard not to take them out of the NFC. I just like
it is.
Who's going to Philly? It's like maybe the Rams. Like I don't think Sam Darnold's doing it. I don't think Goff's doing it. I don't think Purdy. I just don't think a lot of these teams are going to do it. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think out of those teams you mentioned, Rams I think are a team that could match up with them outdoors in Philadelphia, playing on the road. I think Stafford could give them a ball game because they could get out in front a little bit, maybe. But
well, they should have beat them in week 3 or whatever. They're right. Like 26-7. I think the 2 teams I think can do it I do think are the Lions and the Rams. Like the Lions just have to kind of like not play dumb. They were much better, I thought, that first half, and they were still down at halftime. I'm like, this is
you can't keep going for it on your own side of the fucking 50-yard line. In a first quarter, we beat this up on so many shows. You just can't do it. You can't.
I do think a real issue for the Lions going to be is Laporta. Like Laporta's going to be out probably for the rest of the year. The dude had back surgery. Like he's not coming back. So I don't care what he had back surgery.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out for the year. I think that's a much larger issue than people think. Like Brock Wright is a good player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but Laporta is awesome. And
He's really good. Yeah, you're going to have to get that figured out. I mean, what are you going to do, though? You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's like, and on the flip side of that ball, back to the Eagles for a second, is like nobody more mentally capable of handling everything that's going on outside the locker room with the Eagles than Jalen Hurts. I mean, I got to give that guy credit, man. He is an absolute epitome of a professional. He is one of these guys that is mentally tough as hell. He's Tiger Woods mental tough. He just is, man. Like nothing gets to him. He's been through it. Freshmen take his spot, win the championship in college, push him to another team. I mean, he's been through it all. You're not going to mess with him.
Yeah, I also think Sirianni gets a lot. And I'm not saying he's a great coach, but like for some reason, the madness that happens with the Eagles, he's not like he's clapping back in the media. He just literally doesn't say anything at all. And he just lets those guys do whatever they want. And it seems to be working in some way. Their offense is bad, right? That offensive coordinator is bad and probably should be fired.
Yeah.
He's a Sirianni buddy. He's his buddy. So like, that's a problem. But whatever. He doesn't care.
Speaking of offensive coordinating, like the Lions have got to get that figured out too. I understand the 1 week Dan took over the play calls and stuff, but to me, it's like, okay, so you set an example, you put on tape what you want to have done, how you'd like it to be called. Now you need to get back to turning it back over to him and say, there, now I showed you how I kind of like it. Get that together because I can't juggle all these balls every week.
Yeah. They probably got to get a guy, you know, I kind of think the Lions need to just kind of create. I mean, they have so many awesome dudes, and the team's great. And like, it's going to be good for another 3 or 4 years. It seems like it's just going well. But they maybe kind of recreate an identity, like that was the Ben Johnson era and the Dan Campbell era. Now they just need to recreate a new one, and whatever that is. You know,
I'm going to tell you exactly what I think it is. I'm going to tell you what I think is a big problem for us on offense right now. Montgomery's touches this year are way down, and he's not injured. He's not on any reports. He's not injured. I just think that, you know, Ben Johnson was very good at balancing the two of those guys out to keep the defense on their heels, really. Yeah. And I just think that Morton has not gotten that. He just, I think he's got this fun little toy with Gibbs, and he's one of these coaches that's just like, he's too good to not have him off. You know, you gotta have him on the field. You gotta have him out there to do this, to do that. What if we use him here? Well, he could get loose on this third down. Let's try that. Like he leans on it a little too much. And I'm like, you need to find some balance and get Monty back in the game. He just doesn't.
Yeah, he's great. I kind of wish that they would trade him to the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs could really use him, to be honest. You know, but Gibbs has been, when Gibbs gets the ball, dude's electric.
He's electric, but
it's hard not to get him the ball.
Yeah, but it's like, it's almost like a peewee coach or a high school coach that has like this phenomenal player where you're like, just keep giving him the ball. And I'm like, this is the NFL, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. He is that. And then Morton tries to outthink himself all these times too. Like he's going to trick the defense by keeping Gibbs in the game in a situation you wouldn't give him the ball up in between the tackles and then giving it to him. And I'm like, they ain't tricking anybody. You're asking a guy to do something that's not in his realm of, you know, that's not a giant success play for him. It is for Montgomery. Just put him out there.
Yeah, I mean, I still think the Lions will get like I don't know, a 3 seed probably. They're probably looking at the 3.
Yeah,
and we could be aiming directly at like Detroit Green Bay playoff game. You know, it kind of seems the way it's aimed.
I'd love first round against Green Bay at home. Fine, and then let's go on the road.
Go, you know, maybe if Seattle stumbles a little bit, it seems like we're going that way, but. You know,
it's fine by me. I'll play any of those teams, man. You know, the only one that worries me is having to go to Philadelphia. But listen, we got to get some shit in order in house before any of that's going to happen anyway. Well, let's jump into some quick hits. Look, next week's going to be Thanksgiving. We'll be recording early in the week. We're going to be beating the shit out of the Lions next week on next week's episode for sure. Because it's Thanksgiving. You know what I mean?
You know, I think the spread already I saw was like 5.5. Detroit's favored.
Let's go.
Versus Green Bay. We'll see what Green Bay team shows up. We'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I hope we beat the shit out of them on Thanksgiving, man. I would love nothing more. All right, hey, let's get to some quick hits. Before we do that, we know we got to pay some bills with True Laundry Detergent in a house with Hall of Famer Gordon Butterfield on the call for what just happened.
Sure. Oh, what just happened?
What just happened is brought to you by True Laundry Detergent. It's a locally owned company, and these fellas live in the neighborhood. They're saving you money. That's 101 loads in one bag. They got laundry detergent and fabric softener. They've even got dry sheets for you. Got sensitive skin, they've got the free and clear. No fragrances, no dyes, no additives. Or if you don't like liquids, they've even got the detergent sheets. Just drop one in every load. There's 60 loads in that box. Just head on over to thetrueproducts.com for all your laundry needs. And don't forget to use your code CUTTANDLOOSE1 to get you 10% off your first order. That's True Laundry Detergent. It's Gordon approves. Well, it's a beautiful day for a visit for that. Oh, tumble time. Oh, my. 2 for 1 on a stairway massacre. What just happened? It was a bang-bang play. First you see Edna trips over that dog. Oh, flip-flops are flying. She's rolling downhill like a cheese wheel chase. And then here comes Gertie. She's going to help out. But she's not going to put that phone down. Just switch it to her non-dominant hand. That's a bad idea. Here comes the concrete. Oh, my. Thank God Edna's ham hock got caught in that guardrail. Looked like a fire drill for old Humpty and Dumpty. Oh, what just happened? That woman stepped on her own shoe, I think, and fell.
I like, you know what I did like that Gordon called it out. Like she did transfer the phone. The other hand,
Like,
that's just like I wish more running backs did that as they're like transferring the ball. You know, it was nice.
Yeah, put it in the other side so you don't fumble it, man.
Yeah.
I don't think she fumbled the phone. I don't think she fumbled it. She was hot in the middle of some video, couldn't pause it.
Something was going on. She was listening to something. I'm not sure, but it was
was
nice.
like a tractor beam for big ladies to go down those stairs, man. Jesus. Well, I hope everybody's okay. They're probably not.
They're probably not. I mean, they're okay now. It seemed old, but yeah, at the time, I'm sure there was.
That's an old CCTV video. All right, man. Let's get to some quick hits. All right, Andy. I'm sure you probably heard the news about John Beam, the famous coach. Yeah, man. Famous coach from the Hard Knocks. Not Hard Knocks. Yeah, from Last Chance U on Netflix. This guy stapled the Oakland community for a long time up there, like 35 years or something like that. Yeah, he was the coach of this program, community college program, and this guy, like, he gave himself to the community up there in Oakland, which is, that's a lot of people don't understand. If people don't know that's Oakland is a real inner city community. You know what I mean? Like it's like a Chicago, Detroit. Like it's pretty rough, man. And he spent his whole life like helping kids that were like caught up in trouble or that couldn't get out to Division I schools because of shit going on outside of football. Brings them there, mentor them, tutor them, get them going, get them out. It changed a lot of lives. Spent his life changing kids' lives, man, and murdered.
Yeah, like those community colleges, especially in the cities like that, like you just get a wide variety of kids, and like these coaches, and they're like parents almost to even that Bears game, Bears Vikings, there was an interception by one of his old players who he intercepted the ball and then got on a knee and was emotional, I would say. And, like a lot of those coaches play roles as parents, and they direct these men into like better ways of life. And it's unfortunate that this happened.
Yeah, really, really unfortunate, man. I haven't caught a lot of the extra details coming out yet. Been pretty tight, I think. I haven't been able to find a lot of it as to what went on, but I when I first saw it, maybe you as well, but when I first saw it, I thought, oh, he's probably getting older. Like maybe he just passed away. This guy was a little bit older, I think in his 70s, maybe. And I'm like, no, murdered, man, murdered.
Yeah. I love those Last Chance U's too. Those were great. I love those shows when they were out. I actually, when I saw the headline, Last Chance U coach killed, I was like, oh, it's this bald basketball coach. This guy was a dick. No doubt he was died. When I saw it was that guy, I was like, oh, that guy. I'm with you. I thought it was the dude that played 2 seconds with the Chiefs. That was in like the very last season, the big loudmouth dude that was like from Compton or whatever. Right. I didn't have it this guy. I didn't have it was this guy. I didn't know. John Beam, I did not see coming.
No. And the first couple of seasons with that East Mississippi, whatever, those coaches were like, just big phonies and like, just opportunistics. Like this was the one season I really, really did enjoy because I was like, no, this guy, like, this is what he wants to do is just help these kids. He's not
Yep.
trying to move anywhere. It was fucking sad, man.
Yep.
It was sad, dude. Well,
Sorry.
big up to him, man. Set an example for, changing people's lives and doing something. Get involved in your community, man. Put his money where his mouth was, man.
Yep, for sure.
All right, let's touch on this incident from last week in college football. Now, A&M was getting beat by South Carolina. South Carolina got out early, 27 or something like that, right? And then I think the kid scores. He goes up the tunnel, and then he has the interaction with the cop. I'm sure you've seen this video all over the internet. If you guys haven't seen it, here it is. A little quick upgrade.
At 7:13, the Texas Department of Public Safety is reviewing footage of an interaction between a state trooper and a college football player caught on camera. It happened at Saturday's matchup between Texas A&M and South Carolina. You can see the DPS trooper bump into Gamecocks wide receiver Nick Harbor and others. The heated exchange quickly spread on social media. It even caught the attention of NBA superstar LeBron James, who called out the trooper on X, saying he believed the nudge was premeditated and that the trooper should be suspended. In a statement, DPS writes, quote, "The trooper involved was sent home from the game. Our Office of Inspector General is also aware of the incident and will be further looking into the matter," end quote.
Now, listen, LeBron aside, come on, man. Like everybody's got opinion and weighing in on this, but premeditated, I'm not defending this fucking asshole. I think he should never be able to do that job again. He's a dick. It was out of line. I don't think he was sitting up in the tunnel going, boy, I can't wait for one of these guys to come up in this tunnel for me to bump into him.
For sure. No, I was premeditated. LeBron was just throwing some words out there. I don't think.
Yeah, just stupid.
I agree with you. That what a horrible dude. Like
a piece of shit.
It felt. I was like, the dude gambled on the game. That was honestly my first thought was like, this dude has money on A&M and he's mad.
I got to tell you, it being Texas and being in the South, that was number 2 on my list of probably what this guy's problem was.
Yeah, of course, it's probably something racial, right?
100%.
Felt like it for sure.
100%.
Yeah, those are like my top 2 thoughts. Like he's probably racial and he probably gambled on the game.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, the reason that I bring this up is everybody's talked about it. We're not saying anything new to anybody, and you've heard about this. But like to me, it's like this kind of plays to the point we're always talking about on this show and at the end of the show and stuff about how like sports is the one unifier. Sports is the one thing that brings everybody together. You know what I mean? Like this happened in a sports game, and then you saw all races and creeds and colors all over the internet going after this cop for being an asshole. You know what I mean? Like everybody unified and came together because they had to do with sports. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we can see, we constantly see footage all the time of like injustices where, people are shot that don't match the complexion of the cops or anybody. I'm not bagging cops. I'm just saying there are incidents out there where we instantly become divided on it as people. And then we all saw this video and it had to do with sports and everybody was on the side of the players.
For sure. And I mean, that player was hurt. He ran in the tunnel, kind of hurt his hamstring. The other guys came, it's crazy. Crazy. Like it's horrible. He's horrible. I hate him.
Horrible. For sure. Like get rid of this fucking asshole. And again, sports for the win. I'm telling you, people, we need more sports fans because it is the ultimate unifier. We can all come together on this one and nobody sees color in this situation. You just see who the asshole is. I fucking love it.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into some no way, Andy. Listen, I got to jump on this one for my boy JMO. This right here is a 15-yard penalty. This is a 15-yard penalty here. Can you explain that to me a little bit? Why is that a 15-yard penalty?
You can't touch the goalpost. It's been the fact. It's just a straight rule. You can't dunk the ball. You can't touch the goalpost. Like everybody knows it. It's not like it's a secret. It's the one thing that's a guaranteed penalty is touching the goalpost. So that's why it's a penalty. If he knows it. I don't even understand what he was doing. Like Spider-Man? Like what's happening?
I think he just got caught up in a moment. He was going full speed, caught the ball through the end zone, saw it, jumped on it, hugged it. I just think it was an impulsive young guy, dumb thing to do. And the last thing on his mind, I think honestly was this is touching the goalpost because it was for the dunking. They just wanted to stop the dunking, which to the point I'm going to make here, every single weekend you see a guy go up and finger roll over it. Well, I didn't touch it. Well, I didn't touch it. They're like the kid in the back of the car. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And then J-Mo gets 15 for that.
Right, but you can finger roll. That's, I mean, if
I
you
know, I know.
I thought it was just an absolute horrible penalty by him. Like,
It was dumb.
It was like it cost him a point, and it wasn't just the point. Like, the point doesn't really matter. But, I mean, it could have, right? If they get that, they could have scored. But it just absolutely stopped momentum. Like, it was so. I feel like Jameson does that like 4 times a year. Does something truly idiotic.
He does, and I'm telling you, if he was on any other team, this guy would be one of those guys that like would stop getting the ball. They'd be looking to get rid of him. They'd be looking, you know what I mean? But like Dan Campbell and these guys love him. And to his credit, they do have his ear. You can see he's actively trying to change every year. He gets a little better. I think he landed in a good spot for him. They are really bringing him along.
100%. Like he's great. Like he's really good on that team. Like he's kind of perfect on that team. But those things are bad.
Yeah, they're bad. When that costs us a point, when you say, well, at the end of the day, that point didn't mean much. And it's like, no, it does mean a whole lot when you got a coach on the sideline that's like, we're down 1 point. We're going to go for it on our own 1 yard line now. We got to get that point back. 4th down. We're going for it, man. We're down 1. And I'm like,
not to mention it was like super windy, cold at night. Like Bates had to kick a really difficult 48-yard extra point. Like it's hard to do.
Yeah. It's a real tough kick, man. It was really, really stupid. But I'm to tell you, there are a lot of times I agree with you. He does really dumb shit, and I get really mad at him. This wasn't one of them. I was like, oh man, I guarantee he was just like, I wasn't even thinking about that, which is stupid. Right. But some of the other ones were like took the ball and hit it off the dude's face and shit like that. You're doing something wrong.
I disagree. I think like he knew exactly what he was doing. Like it's not an accident to just there's so many ways to like slow down. Running and jumping on the goalpost is probably, knowing it's a 15-yard penalty is probably the last way you should run to slow down.
Yeah.
So I don't believe he didn't know what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing.
I think you're probably right.
The Eagles. But the message was that was not the time or place to send the message.
No, it wasn't.
I was a Detroit backer at that time. I wasn't. I was a Philly backer. Money wise, I would have lost my mind. I'd have been like, I cannot believe what is happening.
Yeah, it was completely stupid. I do think it was really impulsive though. I think like in the moment when he's on the goalpost, it probably started setting in that like, fuck, this is a penalty, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he was thinking, fuck it. Like when you take a swing at a dude, you're like, fuck it. I know this is 15.
Sure.
So he's the dumbest, man. Come on, Jambo, get it together.
No way. There's no way. No way.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some baseball awards that came out. We hit on the Cy Young last week, Scooble and stuff like that. The AL MVP. What'd you think about that, man? Here's the final voting here. Judge and Cal Raleigh, dead tie. I mean, they tie, and then it goes to whoever got the first place votes, which Judge had 4 more first place votes than Cal Raleigh did. So he takes it home. First question to you, Andy. Why doesn't baseball just do like if it's a tie, it's a tie, man?
Yeah, I have co-MVPs. I'm with that. This is gonna be one of those years. Like I have to be honest. I wasn't as big a baseball follower, but I did. Cal Raleigh, I did know who that dude was.
Yeah,
it seems like he probably should. Like Aaron Judge, like what? I mean, I'm sure he had an awesome season, but it had no value to me. Like wow, Cal Raleigh's did.
Yeah, he didn't. It's not like he won the Triple Crown or something. You know what I mean? It's like it wasn't like he was Miguel Cabrera or something. Like here's his numbers here now. Aaron Judge, fantastic season. He hits 331, which in this day and age is basically 365. He 331, 53 home runs, and 114 RBIs. A great season. As far as a center fielder, outfielder, he's okay. Yeah. I mean, like he's a little better than average. He's not phenomenal. He's not great outfielder. Cal Raleigh catching catching every single game. He's a catcher and a good catcher. Now he only hit 250, but he hits 60 homers and 125 RBIs, leads the league in both, takes the Mariners deeper in the playoffs than they've ever friggin' been. I mean, come on, man. I
think it should have been Cal Raleigh. 250 is not great. It's very hard. I get that for the baseball voters to give it to a guy who hit 250. But look, He's got it. Yeah, I feel like you got to do it this time.
Yeah, there's been plenty of times that these baseball writers have given the MVP award to a guy that's hitting 250 or less because he hit more home runs than everybody else.
Right.
That seems to be their big fucking thing. He hit 60 home runs and had 125 RBIs, and he's a catcher. This was ridiculous to me, I think.
Yeah, it was bad. And when I saw the result, I was like, oh, I just assumed Cal Raleigh was going to win. It never even crossed my mind that there was Judge potential.
Yeah, me neither. I thought it was a lock. I thought it was a lock, but here we go. Yankees, Yankee bias. It's going to, oh, it's a Yankee. You're a Yankee. Okay. Well, whatever, man. Just forget about it. Hey, Cal Raleigh, you're the MVP for us here at DWMOD, buddy.
For sure. No way. There's no way. No way.
All right, one more. We kind of touched on it a little bit because you were big on Houston last night. You brought that home. They win the game. They're pretty hot right now. Good little defense. We touched a little bit on that. Let's talk about how realistic is it for Houston to make a run on the Colts and win the division? I mean, let's pull up some schedules here and take. I'm going to say no way. I think the Colts are too far out in front, and they're a good football team.
What are the Colts? 8-2.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the Texans are 6-5.
Are they? Okay, yeah, 6-5.
6-5, right? So I think here's the way it happens, right? Two things. Daniel Jones is actually Daniel Jones, and that is like, and whether he is or not, I kind of think he will become. I think he's had a really nice schedule up to a certain point, right? And now the schedule is going to be very different for him. The other path is the Colts lose. Let's say the Colts lose this week to the Chiefs, which I think it's probably 65% to happen, 60%.
Okay.
I mean, the Chiefs are favored by 3.5. So it tells you like most people think it's going to happen.
Then they got the
next week. Next week they got the Texans. So Texans win next week, and now it's in Indianapolis, so that makes it much harder, right? And then the Colts go to the Jags. Look, the Jags schedule is also easy, but the Jags at home are a different team than on the road. They just are, and they're one of those teams this year. I'm not saying the Colts are going to lose, but I am saying it's about 50-50.
Sure.
Then they go to Seattle. It's a loss. It's just a loss.
Probably.
Like Seattle's. If we were ranking NFL teams, like who would beat who, Seattle's ahead of Indianapolis, I think. Indianapolis, by the way, is the favorite to win the AFC at the moment after that game last night.
I am not going to disagree with you that I think that the Seahawks will win that game, but I'm telling you this, from a gambling standpoint, that'll be a stay away for me. I don't think that's a lock. I mean, when you can run the football and play defense like the Colts, I'm not going to bet against them. I just won't bet that game.
Right. And then they have the 49ers at home. I mean, who knows what 49ers team is going to be there at that point? Are they going to be in the division? They're going to be in for the wild card. Is Purdy going to be there? I'll probably lean at this moment Colts in that game, but if it's 3, I'm probably taking the 49ers. So It's close is my only point. And then the last game of the year is at the Texans. So
well, you got the Jags mashed in there too. Niners, then Jags.
Yeah, right. It goes Texans, Jags, go Chiefs, Texans, Jags. So that's the recipe. Lose this week, lose next week, right? Lose next week. That's the recipe.
Yeah, but then they're tied, and the Texans have to win out. Now let's take a look at their schedule. Like even if they win these next 2 in a row, you think the Texans are going to be able to rack up a couple of wins in a row there? I don't know, man. Well,
if let's say they beat the Colts, then they go to the Chiefs.
Then they go to the Chiefs. That's an L.
That's just kind of been a bad spot for them overall. But then they have the Cards and the Raiders.
Yeah, that's good.
That's 2 wins for sure. Then they go to the Chargers. Look, the Chargers, their record is that Joe Alt's done for the year.
Yeah,
he's a huge deal for the Chargers. Huge, and they're bad. They're just bad now. Hampton's hurt. They can't run it. I don't know. I don't really trust the Chargers. I don't think the Chargers are going to make the playoffs. That's my AFC team. I think it's out. And that's the recipe.
Yeah. Yeah, but that Cardinals and Chargers game, both those games, those are going to be pick'em style games against Houston. Their defense, best in football. I agree with you 100%. Can't score any points. And the Cardinals and the Chargers will be in those games for that very reason. Maybe Stroud comes back and starts playing better, then I'd be 100% on board. This could happen, but I think I'm leaning no way.
I mean, they're 3 back, so it's like it's really hard to do. I'm saying, like, from a gambling perspective, like, I absolutely think you should take a shot on the Texans. I think you should take a shot on the Jags. I think you should take a shot on anyone that's not the Colts, because I mean, the Colts have a great chance to win this week in Kansas City. I would not be surprised, but the schedule is much harder down the stretch.
Value might be there for the money. The value might be there for the money for sure. For sure. Well, I won't say we shouldn't vote on that. If I say we should vote on that, I'll say yes. So we won't go no way on that. But Colts take the division.
No way. There's no way. No way. Gun to
All
my
right,
head,
buddy.
take the Colts. Gun to my head. But
Yeah, gun to my head.
I wouldn't guarantee it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump into some real quick knock it off before we hit to the big 6 picks here. Right away, college football playoffs, the rankings. Listen, Notre Dame is ahead of Miami again.
All right, everyone, time to do me a favor and knock it off.
I do not care who lost to who beat who, what other team wasn't playing well, and who caught someone on a day where I think they looked like maybe their sandwich had the crust cut off. They played head to head.
Yeah, right. I'm with you. I think if Miami gets to 10-2, I get that Miami has been a lot rockier than Notre Dame.
Sure.
I mean, if it's a neutral site game, I'd probably take Notre Dame over Miami. But they did play the game. They've already played.
Yes. Lane Kiffin nailed exactly what you and I are saying as well. And it's like, you're going down a slippery slope here of these games don't matter. We're going down a very slippery slope of wins and losses don't matter. If I don't think that you looked good in your win and I think another team looked good in their loss, I'll just pick them. I think they're better.
Right. It's like that. His argument is that A&M should be 2 and Indiana should be 3. And
sure,
I agree with him. A&M, there's no win Indiana has that's better than A&M winning at Notre Dame.
There's not.
And I think Notre Dame is one of the best, like, 7 teams in college football. I think they're great. They're a great football team. So it's a pretty big win.
Yeah. So let me say this. Here's what college football is doing. If we talked about this on the show before, in order to grab eyeballs for their little ESPN show right now, where they announce these things on the weekend or on Monday or whatever, and then do the ratings, we've talked about this. They intentionally do things like this just to get everybody pissed and talking and tweeting and talking. They do this dumb shit to create some little clicks and eyeballs for a little viewership for their show. But in the long run, they're doing a disservice to college football, like Lane's saying. You want to keep playing this game, then us as coaches and universities, we're going to go, why go play Notre Dame? Let me just schedule Citadel. Let me just schedule. Why go play those games? We're not going to be rewarded for them. So down the line, because you want a little better ratings on a stupid ass dumb show, we're probably going to miss out on a lot of good football games. Like, no thanks.
Yeah, I think, I agree. And I think one thing that's really hurting Miami is that ACC is not very good again.
Sure.
And so, like, if this won't be an SEC problem, I can promise you, right? Like, let's say Georgia or A&M somehow misses the SEC title game. They're probably like the 6th seed, like 6 or 7.
Sure.
But Miami's not even going to play in their title game. And that is a problem for the committee. That's just what it is. And that's why they're going to take it.
Let me ask you this. Notre Dame still tied into playing that ACC schedule? They play 4 or 5 teams out of that conference during the
Something
year?
like that. Yeah, they do. Yeah. And then they also but then they schedule USC and they schedule some other teams. I do think it's the last year against USC.
Which is a disservice to college football. Just fucking is. But that's kind of my point too, is like, everybody's like, well, the ACC's down. It's not that good. Miami plays in the ACC. I'm like, Notre Dame doesn't play in a conference at all. And they basically play in the ACC as well. What are we, what? One team beat the other.
Right. It's like, like what Notre Dame, I think it's helping them in some weird ways. Like, they beat Arkansas by 43. Arkansas is a 2-8 team, but Arkansas's average margin of victory of loss is like, they've lost a combined SEC games by like 9 points. Like, Arkansas is like one of the worst loss teams, but they're actually like the best 2-8 team ever. Probably they should be probably 4-5, 5-4, 5-6-4 in that area, 5-5. So I think like them destroying Arkansas is actually helping them, because everybody's like, well, look, Arkansas is pretty good.
Probably is, but like I would love to be in that room and have some people sit there across from the table from me and say, listen, I know Miami beat Notre Dame, but Notre Dame really trucked 2-8 Arkansas, who's pretty good. I'm gonna go, I'm done talking to this clown. Like, Miami beat them.
Right.
It
They
drives
lost,
me
yeah,
crazy.
they lost by 4 points to Miami and A&M. So it's like they're in there, they're close. Like I would rather see Notre Dame than Miami, if I'm being honest, in the college football playoff. But
Everybody involved with the money and the TV and shit would for sure.
I think Notre Dame's just better. But it's hard to argue that when we saw the result in week 1. When
100%.
Those games should be
100%. 100%. And they'll probably both get in at the end of the day. So who cares?
All right, everyone, time to do me a favor and knock it off.
One more time back to baseball really quickly. Hall of Fame voting. The class is out. There's not one person in this class that's Hall of Fame worthy. So this is probably going to be a year where it's going to fall favorably on the contemporary committee to put some guys in. This is the way it goes sometimes, you know what I mean? Because if there's nobody really on the new class to put in, there's a couple of guys on the ballot that are close that might get in, that have been on the ballot before. But this is a year Dale Murphy and Don Mattingly are being considered for the contemporary committee. Now, I'm not going to get long-winded on the fact that Whitaker was supposed to be in the contemporary committee this year, and it looked really good for him because of what I just said, everything about guys not getting in. He's not on it this year, so that's going to be kicked down the road again. Whatever. He is a Hall of Famer. Let's talk about Dale Murphy and Don Mattingly. Contemporary committee Hall of Famers to you?
Yeah, probably. I think so. I think like when I think of 80s players, 80s, early 90s, if you made me list like 20, I think they're on that list.
100%.
So like, I think so. I get that Dale Murphy is like, the time has not been kind to his stats ultimately. I mean, like home run and like all that stuff. But you got to like talk about the time he was in. Like he was a pretty feared hitter. And I think Mattingly, like to me, was like one of the coolest baseball players. Always to me, and always good. So
always good. Always good.
I think they both should get in.
Yeah, I would say Mattingly for sure because it is the baseball Hall of Fame, and this guy's had a baseball life, and he's still very involved in baseball. So, like, if his numbers are borderline, and then he's managing all these teams, he's made World Series runs. He's, you know what I mean? Like, this is a guy that's like, yeah, this is a baseball Hall of Fame guy.
Right.
I say yes. I say yes to Mattingly, especially. Yeah. I don't understand. These baseball writers are going to be like New York biased and give Judge the MVP and then take a guy that was a Yankee for life and be like, man, I don't think so. I mean, they have no rhyme or reason to why they do shit. I say Mattingly for sure. And here's why I'll say Dale Murphy. And let me give a shout out to one of our listeners, Corey Full of Love. I go back and look forth online with this guy a little bit on Stuff Sports, real good sports guy, big baseball guy. And he always makes the argument kind of like you did about, you can't just look at these numbers by today's number. You got to look, you can't look at them through the lens of today. These numbers were great in his time, like you just said. But furthermore, he said to me one time, and it stuck with me. He said, listen, I think a guy who's borderline number wise, if you can look back at his career and he dominated a decade, like if he was a dominant player within a whole decade of that sport, then I say yes. And Dale Murphy was a 3-time MVP in the 80s and dominated the 80s.
Yeah. Right. I mean, I completely agree. I agree. Also, like Scott Rowland's in the Hall of Fame. I remember him being in recently. And like, if you asked me to rank those 3 players, Scott Rowland to me is third. Just third.
Third.
No doubt. Like, I don't know who I'd have one. Probably Mattingly, maybe Murphy. I don't know. It doesn't matter. My point is, those guys are above the Scott Rowland line.
Yeah, and they give you the Rowland playoff thing they always want to throw at you too, but his playoff stuff was just amazing. He's a legend in the playoffs, and I'm like, okay, Murph and Mattingly didn't get to play as many playoff games because back then you had to win the fucking pennant to go to the playoffs. You didn't get to play in the playoffs like that. Number one. Number two, again, foot in your mouth, baseball writers, but you're not going to put what's his name, the pitcher, the bloody sock is escaping me.
Schilling.
Yeah, you're not going to put Curt Schilling in. He doesn't have an ungodly playoff resume. Yes, he does, but you don't like Curt Schilling, so he's not going to go in. And furthermore, let me talk more about pitchers for a minute. I get upset about this stuff. They'll put guys in like Roy Halladay, which I like Halladay. I think he was one of the best pitchers I've ever seen in my lifetime, but cut short to injury. His greatness kind of faded toward the end. Didn't play enough years. Doesn't have the numbers. He goes in the Hall of Fame because of a pitcher's arm blows out, but he was great. What's his name? Dodgers. I'm getting so fired up. I can't think of his name. The lefty, the all-time great.
The lefty all-time great.
Oh man, I feel like an idiot. I can't think of his name. I can see his face. He's at all the games still all the time. And
Koufax.
Yeah, Sandy Koufax. Well, he just got injured. So, okay, that's fine. I'll be with you on that. But Murph got injured. Murph got
Right.
really injured and couldn't play that anymore. I mean, it's ridiculous. They just
Yeah.
pick who they want.
Yeah. Get in. He should be in. No doubt.
He should be in. He should be in for sure. Come on, baseball writers. This mainly is for you.
All right, everyone, time to do me a favor and knock it off.
All right, we're not going to beat the ULM report up this week, but it's time for the ULM report. I'm a little sad about. Listen, we dumped it to South Alabama last week, and that's it. Now we're done. Bowl is out the window. This week we're traveling to Texas State, who just thumped Southern Miss last week. Let's make the season right, boys. 17.5-point dogs. 57.5 is the over here. Listen, there's one way to make this season right. Let's go knock off Texas State. And then next week on Thanksgiving weekend, let's knock off the big rivalry game. That's the big Michigan, Ohio State, Auburn, Alabama of the Sun Belt there for us is ULM against University of Louisiana Lafayette. That's the big game. We can win that game because ULL beat Arkansas State this week. So they are one game short of being bowl eligible. If they can beat us at the end of the year, they'll go to a bowl game. So we can stop them from going to a bowl game and win that game. That could make the season worth it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a long season, hard. Like Texas State, pretty good though. They're in. It's a little bit of a buzzsaw right now, so we'll see.
Yeah, it is right. They're a 4-win team, but they're clicking now, man. So who knows? This is gonna be a little bit of a buzzsaw this week, but who cares? Like next week, let's knock off ULL, keep them from going to a bowl game. That could make everything worthwhile. Let's just get it done, guys. Let's go, Warhawks. Keep it moving. All right, let's jump into the Big Six Picks, Andy. This is it. The Big Six Picks brought to you every week by the official beer choice of the DWMOD podcast. That's Old English 800. We're enjoying the games this weekend. You know what time it is.
Brass monkey, that monkey, brass monkey, chunky.
It's time for some brass monkeys this weekend. We're going to enjoy some good college football. And this weekend, Louis has got a treat for us here, Andy. We are going to be taking on the computers. The time is here, guys. It's man versus machine. We are into it, and we are ready to roll. Let's do it. Game one on the docket. Let's see what we have. Now, we put all these games into the AI machine. They kicked out scores, over-unders, kicked out everything for us, and they matched them up with famous robots. Okay, so they matched them up with famous robots for us, okay?
Right.
Yeah, so let's jump on the first game here, and that is the Pitt Panthers. The Pitt Panthers are plus 2.5 at Georgia Tech. Big game for the ACC this week. Big game. Georgia Tech wins, and they're in the ACC championship. The over-under here is 62.5. Who do you like, Andy?
Man, it's a lot of points. 62.5.
Yeah.
Jeez. But, Tech can't stop anybody. I'm not sure Pitt can stop anybody. I think their defense is good, but they just gave up like 30 to Notre Dame. Notre Dame pretty good though. I just think Georgia Tech's a team you back at home and you fade on the road. So I'm going to back Georgia Tech. I'm going to take the 2.5. I would take them on money line as well. And I'm going to, this year I just keep kind of betting overs in college football in the Big Six pick. So I'm going to do it again. That score is going to be like 42-35, 42-30. So I'm going to take it.
All right, you're on Georgia Tech and the over. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be on Georgia Tech as well. I've got them to win the ACC. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to keep riding that. Haynes King, I love it. He's not even getting talked about for the Heisman, but God, his numbers are ungodly. Passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Anyway, he's not even be talked about. I'm going to take Georgia Tech, though, but I'm going to be on the under on this one. I'm going to be on the under. It does seem just like a lot of points for me. All right, so Louis, let's go. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Andy.
Oh, I'm saying it's so many. What?
It's so many. I got to be on the under. I got to be on the under on this one. So Louis, kick it to the machine. He's got the AI for us, and our first AI robot would pick in this game. Oh, okay. Here we go. It's Optimus Prime.
I am Optimus Prime. I am. And first, I would like to say that Georgia Tech has the finest robotics program on the East Coast. So I'll be rolling with the Yellow Jackets this weekend. I think Georgia Tech's offense behind Haynes King will score plenty enough points to cover the spread. I also think Pitt will put up a fight as they're looking to stay alive in the ACC. That's all we ever want is to stay alive. But the Yellow Jackets will pull ahead and cover the spread 34-27, and give me the under. Go sting 'em, Yellow Jackets.
Wow.
I'm not sure that's a thing. Go sting 'em, Optimus.
No. I mean, it didn't sound like Optimus, but I guess that's probably he wasn't yelling or anything, you know.
Yeah, he sounded a little muffled there. He sounded a little muffled low on the volume there, buddy. But that's right out of the AI machine there. The score, the exact score that the AI machine gave us there, and the over under. So they're going to be on Yellow Jackets and the under in that.
He's so close to the total. The total 62, and he was like 61.
He was at 61. Yeah.
I would like just take the over at that point. Like if you think it's going to be that high sguring, it's going to be that high scoring.
That's the computers don't do that. The computers do not say if it comes to 61, then that is under. I don't adjust.
I guess so. I mean, I don't like that under pick by him, knowing what he thinks the score is.
Yeah. I wasn't shocked to see he's a big fan of the robotics program. All right, let's jump out of this next game. Number 2, BYU. Stick it in the computer there, Louis. BYU -2.5 at Cincinnati. Cincinnati home dog. 54.5 is the over under. And who do we got for this one? Who's the representing the AI computer? Oh, it's Voltron. Okay. Voltron on this one. Here we go.
Do we have to do this right now? When we agree to do something, we do it, hunk. Let's do it. Well, I love the Cougs. Me too. Duh, Lance. We all do. We've got to finish this, but this Lion team backs the Cougs. We think that run game will be plenty enough to pull ahead. Give us the Cougars 31-24. And the under. What? Love the show, guys. Go Cougs.
Wow. Excellent. Wow. Oh, that's pretty good, Louis. That's pretty good, man.
Now, wait, what was the spread total?
The spread total on this one's 54.5.
Oh my gosh. And they went 31-24. So why did take the over again?
54. They're playing a half point under here. The computer's going to get us by these little half points here. The computer says a half point under. We caught Voltron right in the middle of killing a road beast. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. They all agreed and they all loved the Cougs. You know, I like that. I like it for sure. It was great. I loved all of it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, what do you think about the game? You're going to roll with the computer here or what?
I'm rolling with the computer. I like BYU. I think Cincinnati's really was good 3-4 weeks ago. I think it's a little slower times now. I think BYU's still in the mix. They got to win. They got to get to the title game, hopefully, and then take another shot at Texas Tech. To do that, they got to win out. So I like BYU, and I like the under, but I like the score to be like 28-17, 28-14, 28-20, like under, like a touchdown below the under. So not a half point.
Yep. No, the half point is a little too much. I think under as well for me. I got to agree with Keith there. Black Lion, leader of the Voltron team. This the BYU run game is going to put us in this thing. I'm going to go BYU and the under for sure. All right, let's jump to this last one here on the docket. USC plus 9.5 at Oregon. The over under here is 59.5. Andy, I'll tell you where I'm at first. I'm riding USC. I'm riding my guys. I'm going to take the 9.5. I think this thing is going to hit the under. Listen, we've been hearing about the Ducks all year, but like Ducks put up big points on people that aren't any good. Every big game they've been in against another good team has been pretty low scoring. You know, maybe some late fireworks, but it hasn't been a typical Oregon team for me. I'm going to take USC. You're going to give me 9.5. I'm going to take USC, and I'm going to be on the under there. What about you?
Man, I want USC to win. I want to take the money line, but I think I'm going to take Oregon. I'm going to take I think Oregon's going to run all over USC. Like when USC on the road to me is a little different than USC. If this game was at the Coliseum, it'd probably be Oregon -6, 5.5. I'd probably be taking USC. I don't believe Oregon's that good, but you know, what I'm doing, I think, is taking the opposite of what I want. I want USC to win. I want them to continue moving forward. But I think it's Oregon. So I'm going to take Oregon. And did you take the over or the under?
I took the under.
I was going to say, I kind of want to take the under in this game. Like, I think I'm going to take the under, even though it's the opposite of what I would have said a week ago.
Sure.
So
sure.
I'm going to take Oregon in the under as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the under here. Bringing this one home, plugged it into the computer here. It's going to be Optimus Prime's nemesis. Oh, we got Megatron here, guys.
Megatron's going to tell me what was it, 59.5?
Yeah.
So he's going to give me Oregon at like If he takes Oregon, it's going to be like 30-21.
Yeah.
It's going to be something right on it. I guarantee
It's
it.
going to be right on it. The computer knows what's going on.
Yeah.
They use these computers to figure out these odds in Vegas. I'm figuring out here. That's what Megatron thinks.
You idiots think the Ducks are scared of the Trojans. Oh, the Ducks own the Trojans in Eugene. The Ducks always finish games strong in the second half like Penn State and Iowa. You fools! The Trojan defense will blow it at some point and the Ducks will pull away for a touchdown late. It'll be Oregon 34, USC 24. Give me the Ducks and the under. Ducks rule the universe.
Okay, big fan of the Ducks there.
I mean, again, 58. He was on like 58 there.
He came at 58. He was pretty worked up, but you expect that from Megatron. He was
At least
upset.
a decent score on that one. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. 34-24. I'm with that.
Yeah, there you go. Well, shit, Megatron, calm the fuck down, man. God damn. All right, he's on the Ducks. All right, well, hey, let's jump to the NFL. Here. Our first game of the week, Pitt, the Steelers. We got the Steelers plus 2.5 at the Bears. The over-under here is 45.5. Who do you got for this one, Louis? Okay. All right, Teddy Ruxpin, dude. All right. Let's see.
I don't have a lot of time, guys. I'm on set, and I've got to shoot. I'm a very busy bear. But hey, bears love bears. Give me the Chicago Bears. 24-20. Because we all know Aaron Rodgers is hurt, and Mason Rudolph is, well, he's Mason Rudolph. So don't play DK Metcalf if you're playing fantasy. And I'll take the under. I'm Teddy Ruxpin, and I love you. Bear down.
It didn't give us a score, though.
No score, but he just said which I like that. Just tell me the under. You don't have to give me the exact score.
It sounded like the tape skipped in his ass or something. It was like, give me the Bear 20. What's the Bear 20?
Wait, I thought he said 24-20.
Did he say 24-20? Okay. I don't know. Sometimes these AI things, man, they throw half sentences in there and shit. Okay, well, he's on the Bears. He's good, Teddy. That was lame, dude. Teddy, he's on it. Bears and the under. Who do you like, Andy?
I like the Steelers in this game. We're in a Mike Tomlin spot here. We're on the road. He's a dog. Look, I get that it's harder because the Steelers defense isn't what it normally is, but these spots pay out at like a 60 to 65% of the time. Tomlin, dog, road. So look, I'm not stopping it now. I actually think it doesn't matter if it's Rodgers or Mason Rudolph. I think I think we can agree it's probably Mason Rudolph. Maybe Rodgers will play, but it seems like it's Mason Rudolph. And the line is still 2.5. So that tells me Vegas doesn't care who the Rodgers and Rudolph are similar, right? Rudolph's been there a long time. He'll be fine. So if it gets under 2, I would bet the Bears at like 1.5. I'd probably bet the Bears. 2.5, you get to 3. I like the Steelers. And I would tease the Steelers. Bears don't blow people out. They just don't. Couple turnovers, Steelers are in it. That's how they win. I would take the money line Steelers. I would tease them, and I'm on the under as well. I had the under with the Texans under last night, the Steelers Bears under, so I'm on it.
All right, you're gonna be on Steelers and the under. I got to tell you, Andy, I'm just gonna be on the Bears here. And it's all because of the quarterback situation. I actually think it's worse for the Steelers if Rodgers does play. I mean, we got like a broken left wrist. Okay, it's not his throwing hand, but Jesus Christ, he's 40-something years old. He can't escape anybody. He's going to be going to get sacked. You think he's going to be doubling up 2 hands on the ball there? He's been getting that wrist out of the fucking way. I smell turnovers galore if this guy plays. And if Rudolph plays, yeah, he's Mason Rudolph, man. He's fine. But listen, Bears have been kind of hot. I'm going to ride the Bears, and I'm going to take the over. I think the Bears can score points, and I think the Steelers haven't been stopping anybody. I guess they're going to have to do their part. What am I thinking there? But it's only 45. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take the Bears and the over in this one.
I would watch the weather on that game. I don't know what it's like, but it's going to be 50. It'll be sunny and 50 and not too windy. So that's good. So I'm just checking it out to see what it was.
Yeah, that's a good point. So far, the AI machine here has been on the under in every single game and right on the line. On the line.
It's coin flip, really. So
yeah.
feels like what it is.
It's like the Vegas machine. I don't know. I was interested to see how this was going to go, Andy, because I was like, maybe I should like check into some AI every week before I make my bets. And now I'm saying no, because you're just crunching the same numbers that Vegas is crunching me, and you're giving me out the exact thing they are. And I don't know. I mean, I guess they're right more than I'm right though, because they take money from me. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes on this next one. Okay. Louis, I hope we got a better one lined up here than Teddy Ruxpin there. Let's go. The next one. What's that?
Set too. I didn't know he was still shooting. He's still working.
He's trying. He's one of them old actors trying to fool everybody. Like, oh, I'm still working. It looked like he was in his own bedroom.
Yeah, sure.
Looked like he was in his own bedroom. All right, so that was probably the worst guest we've had on the show yet, Teddy Ruxpin.
These guys have been great. They're superstars.
This next guy may be a worse robot than Teddy Ruxpin, though. Let's see. All right, this next game is the Browns. This is the worst game brought to you by the worst robot. The Browns +4 at the Las Vegas Raiders. The over-under here is 36. Let's hear from Johnny 5.
I'm not the worst robot, Louie. Yeah, Johnny 5 is alive, but the Raiders and the Browns aren't. If we're talking about playoffs, no way. These guys will never make it. I like the Browns defense, but Shedeur Sanders is the starter? When Johnny 5 looks at the Cleveland Browns quarterback room, it doesn't compute. Johnny 5 doesn't understand. Both teams are really bad. Give me the Raiders 23-17. I'll take the over. Johnny 5 knows like Bo.
Johnny 5 knows like Bo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was the best one, the most informed. I liked what he was doing.
Yeah, he was on top of it. He went with the over. He went against the number. So I guess we proved our own point wrong. He went against the computer, went against itself. He's going to take the Raiders and the over. I'm going to be on the opposite here, man. I'm going to jump the Browns, like I said yesterday. And maybe a stupid move, but I don't think the Raiders are very good. So give me a dog, 2 bad teams, triangle of badness. We talked about it on All Right Bet. I'm going to take the Browns and the 4 points, and I'm going to be on the under. What about you, Andy?
The number's too low. All Shadeur's got to get is like 7 to 14 points. And then I think that over hit. So I'm going to take the over. I'm having a hard time trusting Shedeur. He was so bad, so bad. And I get that he wasn't prepared and all that stuff, but he has been on the team for
exactly
6 months, so it doesn't what's he doing at practice? So
what is that talking point? What is that talking point they keep trying to give us on TV?
Right. So I'm on the Raiders. I'm gonna just die on the Raiders. And I think the final score, they win by 14 to me some way. Shedeur gives it up late. So I'm taking the Raiders in the over.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with it. I feel where you're coming from. I'm going to ride the Browns in the under, but let's just hit on this for one quick second. What is with this talking point on TV that everyone's trying to rush down our throats, man? He wasn't prepared. He just wasn't ready. So you can't judge him on that. He's the backup fucking quarterback. Does any other backup quarterback in the league get that when they go into the game? You've been chosen to be the backup for this team. And when they go in, the media goes, well, he probably just wasn't ready. He's taken no reps with the starters. Really? Right. Really? Since they've been the only 2 quarterbacks on the roster because of injury and things, he hasn't taken any reps. Stop.
Right. I'm with you. That's why I just hard to trust him. I just I see some cheap touchdowns coming by the Raiders. And what I would really do in this game is just Raider money line and just be done with it. Yeah. Money line, just don't mess with this. I also wouldn't tease it, just for the record.
I got to tell you, I'm riding some Browns money line this weekend.
Sure. Why not?
And maybe he figures it out this week. Maybe get some reps with the starters and he figures it out. I don't know. The Raiders just aren't good to me. I don't know. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take a shot. 4 points is more than a field goal. I'm going to take it. All right, let's jump on the last game. Big game of the week for you. We've talked about it a couple of times on the podcast so far today. It's the Colts +3.5 at the Kansas City Chiefs. 50.5 is the over under here. Andy, I'll jump in first. I'm going to be on the Colts. I'm going to take the Colts in this game. I just don't think the Chiefs are stopping the run very well. I don't think they're running the ball very well. Last week I was in a situation against the Broncos where I was like, I am not going to get caught betting against the Chiefs. I'm just not going to. This is where they're going to get moving. And maybe I'm a week late on it, but I don't like being burned last week. And the Browns beat them. I think maybe it's this just the year that the Chiefs aren't going to get it done. I like this Colts team to come in and win the game. You're giving me the hook. I'm going to take the Colts +3.5, and I'm going to stay on the under. What about you?
I agree. They can't stop the run. I think Jonathan Taylor's going to have a good game, but I do think this is the week the Chiefs probably burn us, but I'm going to be on the Colts as well. But I think the Chiefs win at 3. I'm taking the Chiefs. I've seen this game 20 times in the last 5 years. The Chiefs win like 27-24, whatever. Like something we've seen this game. So I'm going to take the hook. The hook's important. I would take Chiefs money line. Like, give me a Chiefs money line, Raiders money line parlay. Sure, give me that. But I like the under as well. I agree. Chiefs can't really run. They can't. They can't really. They can't stop the run. I am a little afraid that this is a Colts at Steelers game though, because that game was over early, and the Chiefs are quite a bit better than the Steelers. So we'll know at the end of the first quarter whether your money's burnt. But for the contest, I'm going to take the hook. I hate it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Colts in the under.
Colts in the under. All right, we're on the same thing here. This is the last one here. We pumped into the computer to see what they gave us. And one of your favorite guys is going to bring us this one, the Terminator.
Guys, I was sent here from the future from Andy Reid to tell Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce to get your asses moving to get to the end zone. Everyone thinks we are in danger from the Colts because they're so good. But I tell you, if it bleeds, we can kill it. I talked to Andy Reid. He said he had a dream last night that the run game told him, come with me if you want to live. Andy Reid listens to his dreams. The AFC Championship game is calling. And Patrick Mahomes says, I'll be back. So any of you little Colt fans that are coming to the game this weekend, hasta la vista, baby. Because the Chiefs are your daddy. And we're going to play a game called Who is Your Daddy and What Does He Do? So I tell you this now, but listen to me next week and hear me on Sunday. The Chiefs 31, the Colts 28. It's over.
Wow.
I was fired up.
Wow. He took the Colts at 3.5 and the over.
I think he took the Chiefs.
But he said 31-28, didn't he?
He said Chiefs 31, Colts 28.
But the spread's 3.5.
Oh, okay. So he did. Yeah, you're right. Yep. So he said 31-28. So he fucked up. Look at the computer.
Yeah, he's on the Colts and the over.
He's on the Colts and the over. So everybody is on the Colts and the over. Well, that's all three of us. Look, we landed with the machine on the Colts game. You landed with him on the Browns. I'm against it. Me and the machine are together on the Bears. You're on your own with the Steelers.
Okay.
And the BYU game, we are all the same with the computer, BYU and over. You and the computer are on Oregon. I'm on USC. And we're all together on Georgia Tech. So I bucked the computer 2 extra times. Probably not going to go well for me.
I mean, or it's going to go great.
We'll see. We'll see. Well, listen, we're at tip of the cap, Louis, for would have been pretty boring if we just threw up some AI numbers. So good job putting out some videos together there for us. I got to give it up to the Voltron crew there for in the middle of fighting a road beast there. They tuned in.
Sure. Those guys are great. We'll have to have them back every week. The machine week.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll get Schwarzenegger back too. That's his thing.
Yeah, that was great. I enjoyed those days.
I'll be back.
Yeah. A lot of catchphrases by Arnold there.
Oh, a ton of catchphrases by Arnold. All right, guys. Hey, that's the Big 6 picks for the week. Next week we'll be recording early. It's Thanksgiving. We're going to get that thing out so you guys can enjoy some turkey and not waiting on our episode, which I'm sure you'll be doing.
Yeah, no doubt. It is, big Thursday games too.
Big Thursday games, man. A lot of playoff stuff is on the line. Andy, I'm going to let you get out of here, my man. I'll see you next time. That's the Big 6 picks on DWMOD. Be good to each other, everybody.
We cutting loose.
Ready? College football is now B1G versus SEC.
Down.
If you ain't listening to All Right Bet with me and Andy St. Clair, you're throwing away money.
Ready?
All Lions fans drinking that Kool-Aid. Super Bowl. Hey, disagree with me or don't. That's how it works. I think I like Megatron the best.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
It was ridiculous. We got to do what we got to do.
It was great. I love it.
Hilarious.
Cutting loose.